A very good evening to you and welcome to the Nation Leadership Forum on this 22nd day of October 2024. I'm your host, Smriti Vidyarthi. Now tonight we delve into a topic that's rapidly transforming the way we live. Innovative technologies shaping the future of smart homes. Brought to you by Kohler. We have a distinguished panel with us today. I'll introduce them and I'll begin with the lady. That is Laura Kohler, Chief Sustainable Living Officer at Kohler Company. Beside me, Mushiri Waititu, a seasoned real estate entrepreneur and well-known figure in his industry. And also Andrei Lyubimov, Development Manager at Haas Consult Real Estate, with expertise in integrating modern design with smart technologies. Welcome to you all. Now, as we see a convergence of design, technology and sustainability in our living spaces, it is important to understand the direction we're headed in. So, Laura Kohler represents a company with over 150 years of legacy in pioneering technologies that enhance daily living in our homes. Mushiri Waititu brings deep insights from the real estate market, understanding buyer behavior and emerging demands. And Andrei, on the other hand, combines architecture and technology to design homes that are innovative, sustainable, and also functional. Now, despite their varied expertise, each of them does share a passion for creating homes that are not just smart, but also sustainable, user-centric, and in tune with modern living. It's going to be an exciting conversation. You can join in by using the hashtag Kohler4U and hashtag NLF on our social media platforms. That's at NTV Kenya, or tweet myself, Smriti Vidyarthi. You can post your questions or share your comments or any feedback. Great, well, let's delve into this. Now, when we talk about smart homes, many people might think it's out of reach. It is too luxurious and perhaps unaffordable as well. But in many instances, smart homes are also becoming the standard. So I'd like to begin by asking each of you how you, first of all, define a smart home, and also what now technologies are driving this shift. So Laura, I'll begin with you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, we would say it's digital enablement of products that you use every day in your home. And it's really our capability as an industry to deliver a great performance in products like your toilet, your shower, your faucet, your bath, that typically you wouldn't think of being digitally enabled, but once we add that digital component, it enhances your lifestyle. It brings a luxurious performance that maybe you weren't used to before, and it will help you live more sustainably. So it's really connecting digital enablement to products that you use every day.
All right, so perhaps comfort and also convenience. Waititu, what about yourself? How would you define it?
Smart homes are convergence of technology, whereby you're going to have the house becoming an extension of who you are. You're driving home and you're listening to Franco, and you enter and you open the door and the same music starts playing in the background in the house. By the time you're arriving in the house, then the house knows that you've arrived. It's already so it already starts heating your water for your shower, and it already starts making a cappuccino for you. It will heat up the house at the temperature you like. And then you can relax as you watch NTV, then the TV switches on right. So it is a convergence of many technologies within and becomes an extension. The issue about that it is not affordable, we said the same thing about the smartphone many years ago. A lot of these technologies are now, they sit in your pocket, and this is just an extension of that. So you're able then to have a lot of energy conservation, water conservation, which Kohler are proud partners. They've been doing that forever. And so you're able then to save your power. You're able to know when to that your bulb is about to go off, and lots of things. So for us, it is really an extension of a good way of living.
All right, we'll come back to that. Andrei, I'll bring you in now. From your perspective, how would you define a smart home?
I can define it as smart home as a home that adapts itself following interaction with the inhabitants, and making this environment more livable, cozy, functional, and sustainable at the same time.
In your view, Laura, how necessary is it? I mean, it sounds fantastic, but how necessary is it? And would you agree that it is not so much about luxury living?
I think it will become more and more necessary, actually.
Why?
Because when you try to manage your energy consumption or your water consumption, digitally enabled products will actually help you do that. And the how behind that is water consumption can actually be monitored. And a digitally enabled shower, you can start your shower at the temperature you desire instead of wasting water, letting it warm up to the temperature you desire. So as water becomes much more precious on this planet, people will look to solutions like digitally enabled products to manage their water consumption.
Okay. Now, Mushiri, you know, you're in the real estate business. What is the demand for smart homes? Let's obviously talk about here in Kenya, you know, and how also then are property developers responding to these demands? But paint a picture of what the market looks like.
Yeah. First of all, most of our clients, most of our buyers are people who really want to interact. Why are you buying a home? Number one, you want it to be secure. So if I can just lock into the security issues, I can give access to somebody in my house because I'll check my phone and I'll be able to see who is ringing the bell, and I'll be able to open for them and then I'll also be able to limit which areas of the house I can go into. Yeah. So there are small things like those which then are able to enhance your life. So free you from doing. I don't have to run home to open for this person. And on things like water conservation, for example, there are apps today which can be integrated into the smart home system, which will then be able to tell you you're not in the house, but then there was water usage. What was happening? So it means there was a leak. So if there's a leak, where is the leak? Then you're able, so it will able then to tell you this is your consumption per month, and you're able then to tabulate it against what you're paying to the water provider, right, and things like those. Now these may sound like small issues, but then they add up. All those are small things that help you then to manage your monthly expenses.
So from where you sit here in Kenya, is there a market for these type of smart homes?
Huge market.
Really?
Huge market. We are still, I mean, the average age for Kenyan today is 19. So these are guys who are switched on
tech savvy.
They're very tech savvy, and they are able then to appreciate these kind of interventions in their houses. And today it's not just, they're demanding for it. They'll ask you the hard questions. Are you doing this? Are you doing this? And you should, the house that you're doing should be able to integrate all these things from the word go.
And are the property developers able to respond to these demands?
Yes, I'll tell you, in our projects alone, we've been able to do two things. Everyone is aware of prepaid electric connections. We're doing prepaid water connections, for example. And so whenever you get water as you require, yeah, and you pay a token, and immediately then then this also helps you to monitor so it's good for the landlord, it's good for the person who has bought the home, and at the end of the day, it's able then to control a lot of the headaches that come with livability in your house.
Okay, Andre, now,
If I may add to that,
yeah, sure.
It's also important to look at smart home elements from landlord-tenant perspective, not only from the owner-occupier, because 80% of buyers of residential property in Nairobi are landlords. And more market is shifting towards fully furnished and serviced apartments, whereby landlord pays the bills. And for them, it's super important to have it monitored,
Yeah,
and have smart monitoring of electricity and water.
Okay, all right. Well, now my question comes, as much as we're talking about smart living and, of course, sustainability, but technology and the advancement in how we live, you deal with combining now architecture and also smart living. how do you manage some of those challenges and those homeowners who prefer the old style of an architectural design and home?
It has to be tackled in the very beginning of the design process, and it shouldn't be architecture versus engineering. It has to be engineering led by architecture.
Right.
So whoever is designing the house needs to be mindful of the smart features that we would want to introduce. And yeah, if it's planned for from the very beginning, then it's fairly easy to introduce. Indeed, retrofitting is quite challenging, or used to be, because recently now most of the Internet of Things devices and smart home automation devices are becoming wireless. So now it's way easier than it used to be 5-10 years ago.
But if somebody, for example, prefers a traditional looking house, are you still able, even at the beginning, to inject the smart devices so that aesthetically the house doesn't have to look modern, but it still has the modern aspects to it?
Absolutely. So during the design process, we can find for some discrete location for sensors and equipment. And at the same time, there are, let's say, classically looking devices, and you can hardly tell that this is a Wi-Fi router, for example.
Right.
You think it's just a ceiling rose.
Yeah. And when you're designing these, what would you say are some of the most common challenges that arise, and then how do you address them?
Coordination is the biggest challenge, and best way to address is to have a single entity leading the process and coordinating everything else, rather than, I design the floor plans and let the automation guys do their job. No, it has to be led by the principal consultant.
No, I would also interject, though, that you can start simply. If you just want a smart shower and you want to put your toe in the water to really see what a smart device looks like, a shower is a great place to start, because you already have the cavity, the space of where your traditional shower was. You could put in a smart shower with the DTV or digital technology to experiment with what it feels like to use it to control your temperature, control your water consumption, and your time in the shower, as well as other features like music and steam and things like that. Right. So you don't have to actually engineer your whole home. If you wanted to do a piece at a time, that is possible.
Okay, yes, you were going to say something.
What is most important is to put the infrastructure in place from day one. So you have the skeleton, and then you keep building the smaller blocks from there. One of the biggest challenges is the cost.
Right, I was coming to that.
What happens, for example, to do a solar system, complete solar smart system? It's high on the capex, so the capital expenditure is quite high. But what does it do? It means that you're off grid for the rest of and you'll find that it pays you back in 5 years. So some of these things may be a bit more expensive at the beginning, but over the period of time, then you're able and then what it also buys is a lot of freedom. When everyone else is having blackouts,
right.
You're the only one who has power.
Can we get into specifics and talk actual numbers? Are you able to give some sort of a guidance as to how much, a smart shower might cost, or just any sort of example? Any of you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me start with, say, a home security system. Setting it up will cost you in the region of for a 3-bedroom unit. You will set up a smart system for your security, which will be able to detect any activity, which will be able to then send you a message that somebody is at your door. It will be able to put on the lights when somebody is coming in. Such a system should not go beyond 50,000, 60,000 shillings.
Okay.
Yes.
As the initial investment or the only investment?
That's the only. Of course, it will ask you to have Wi-Fi,
right? And
of course, it will need power. But that is the only investment that you will do. Okay. And of course, you need to load an app on your phone and things like that.
Right, so you would need a smartphone, of course, to engineer this. Okay, so Laura, Kohler, of course, is known for innovations in kitchens and bath spaces as well. So how is the company leveraging on this smart technology in the spaces?
Well, one of our new strategies is really to focus on wellness. And it's this combination of taking an existing product like a toilet and figuring out how do you incorporate smart technology to drive sustainability, water consumption, but also actually have the user feel a sense of wellness. So we are doing that throughout the bathroom and the kitchen. The toilet is just one aspect of that, and whether it's a heated toilet seat, whether it's a bidet function, whether it is it's also a low water consumption device. We have actually integrated multiple features into these products. So that's what digital enablement allows, is to you to deliver a better experience for the person using the product. Mm-hmm. The same is true in the shower situation. You can have a wellness experience with steam. Right? Some people really need a steam shower. It's great for your skin and detoxifying, but you can also manage your water consumption at the same time and the temperature geared to you. There's a bath called the Perfect Fill. You can actually time your bath with your smart platform to fill when you need it and at what temperature. And that drives relaxation and spiritual wellness.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, does this always work? I mean, what are some of the hiccups? Because with technology, of course, come challenges and hiccups. Have you experienced any, Andre?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be in the very beginning of the smart home revolution 20 years ago.
Right.
And back then, it was a luxury status thing.
Yeah.
And you would come to a client with a questionnaire of what smart elements do you want in your house, and they would tick all the boxes, and like 15 different lighting scenarios,
Oh, wow.
and end up not using this. Just turn on and off all the lights in the house.
So that's some of the challenges I can imagine. Did you
I
want
would
to answer
also,
that?
yeah, and I would also say you can't make it too difficult. It needs to be intuitive, right? And if the components are too difficult to work, if there are too many steps, the complexity for the user then outweighs the experience that they have. Mm-hmm. So as technology is advancing, we are making our technologies much more intuitive, user-friendly. You don't have to read a book of directions to use the product. Right. So I think we're all learning in this space and making them easily integrated into a platform that is literally on your personal device.
Right. And are you seeing more of the demand in homes or in perhaps, hotels, for example?
Primarily it will come to the home, because this is a primary place that you're living in. Hotels take it up for different experience. They want the convenience of checking you in, for that the room will be smart rooms in the hotels nowadays. Will already have known you, so by the time you get into your room, the screen is telling you, "Welcome back, Smruti. We've missed you since the last time you came here." It will already have known your preferences. It will, for example, it will give you, it will tune you to NTV. Immediately you enter into the room. So there are those things, but the hotel experience is very different from your home experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you going to add something?
Well, I think I'm seeing it more in the residential space, but I think we're going to get to it in the hospitality space, particularly in the spa environment. More and more hospitality and lodging facilities are incorporating spas, and I think digital devices in spas are very compelling. And I would also say that companies like Kohler have a platform and an app ourselves called Kohler Connect. So you're going to find product manufacturers really being able to integrate their own products and have it land on the user's app. We're also partnering with Samsung, so they're creating a platform for homes that they want partners to integrate their products into. So there's going to be these big technology platform providers that will tap all sorts of users, from manufacturers to developers, to integrate their systems into their homes or eventually hospitality.
Right. Okay. Andre, you said that you've been involved in the smart home business for several years now. When did this begin actually? How many years ago?
About 20 years ago.
About 20 years ago. And how have you seen it change over these last 20 years?
It's become exponentially more affordable, because back then it was owning a smart home was similar to owning a luxury yacht.
Right.
And
Wow.
nowadays, almost everyone can afford that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Smart light switch is only, 50% more expensive than traditional light switch.
Right. Okay. And of course, I'm sure there's a lot of new technology as well over the
and
years.
also home automation is becoming more and more AI powered and more and
Right.
more intuitive. Because back then you had to have an assistant who would help you with your smart house.
Yeah.
Now smart homes are learning from our behavior and adjust themselves.
Okay.
Like, for example, I have a hot water cylinder, solar hot water system at my home, and for me it's a headache to program it, so I just turn it off, turn it on, use, turn it off.
Right.
But imagine that hot water cylinder was AI powered, who would
Yeah.
observe my behavior for like a week and then would program itself to be hot exactly when I need it.
Yeah, gosh, interesting indeed. All right, there is still so much more to talk about, but at this point we've got to take a quick break. You are watching the Nation Leadership Forum coming to you live on NTV. We will continue this conversation about innovative technologies shaping the future of smart homes. Stay with us.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Morphix Spans comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Morphix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine haiwezi lick in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Morphix. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
Morphix is renewed. Improved Morphix quality, now in blue package.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, muscle pain, and I'm released from pain to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain. New Panadol Extra Soluble dissolves twice as fast versus standard paracetamol tablets.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Sikia, ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu Ay, kituka na shika. Yummy na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni.
Africa's next chapter in responsible business is here. Join industry leaders as we shape the next generation of responsible businesses.
Over the long term, business cannot succeed where societies are failing.
Exploring themes like ESG, economic growth, gender equality, and climate change. Be part of Africa's transformative journey. Register today.
Welcome back to the Nation Leadership Forum. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. Tonight we are discussing innovative technologies shaping the future of smart homes. And with me here in studio I have Laura Koller, the Chief Sustainable Living Officer at Koller Company, Mushiri Waitito, a real estate entrepreneur, and also Andrei Lyubimov, the Development Manager at Haas Consult Real Estate. All right, thanks for staying with us, and we'll continue this conversation. And Laura, during the break, we were just actually speaking about a very important point, and that is the issue of privacy. Now, as much as it is very exciting, to think that you can go home and you can watch things on your phone and get home and everything's ready for you, how do you tackle the issue of ensuring that this technology doesn't really invade your privacy?
So that's a really important point, and it starts at the very beginning of a product design process. And almost when you sign up for creating digital technology enablement, you sign up for ensuring that it's a responsible product. And your technology, your IT people are involved, your technical engineers are involved, legal is involved, and it is quite a significant process to go through, not only figuring out how do you deliver great enabled experience, but while keeping the user's life private. And there are a lot of different steps in the process that require outside third-party certifications to show that the consumer of that product, that your product is secure, safe, and private. So I think you can, especially when you go towards good brands and kind of sound developments, you want to be reassured that those products, those developments have ensured your privacy as a consumer. So it's something that we all have to be very mindful of when we're using digitally enabled devices. And the better the brand, the more steps we have gone through to ensure that privacy happens.
Right, okay. Muchiri, now, of course, technology is evolving so rapidly. So a new product might come up, in a few months. But then a few months later, there's another product. So how are real estate developers future-proofing homes to ensure that this is managed?
Okay. A lot is, what you do is to develop the infrastructure, the back, we call it the back office. So a lot of these systems speak to a hub. Your security system, your music system, your AC systems, they all speak to one hub. Now, what keeps changing is the technology of, say, how you now communicate, how all these units communicate. So how you future-proof is by making sure that you have a very robust backbone which supports all these things. Of course, after a couple of years, then everything starts going out of fashion.
Right.
When we started building houses, one of the things you needed to do was to have cable for your aerial for the television. The times when the televisions were this bulky.
Yeah.
That is all gone. Most people just have smart TVs today, and so long as you have Wi-Fi, you can watch everything that you require live. What did you need to do for that to happen? You needed to then have a backbone which will at least allow cables to come into the house and then reticulate everything around. So the thing that we are very, very careful to do is to have a lot of extra infrastructure to then be able to support any future new technologies which come in.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Andre, now on the issue of sustainability, of course, architecture plays a role when you talk about sustainability. How do you balance the integration of smart technologies in the home and the need for a sustainable home?
Well, sustainability is leading everything else. Sustainability is a cornerstone. You can no longer afford yourself to be not sustainable. There's already so much damage done to our planet that to undo it will take a couple of generations.
And from your perspective, are people investing in smart homes to be sustainable or just from a point of luxury and convenience?
I think convenience comes first, and then sustainability in terms of reducing like energy bills, water bills.
Right.
And luxury it's no longer a luxurious item, it's an affordable item.
Yeah.
I think you're still getting early adopters, though. I think you're getting people, digital natives, right, who are very interested in enabling their homes. They have a curiosity and interest, a fascination with the ease of digitally enabled experiences. What I think it's evolving into is this awareness that that digitally enabled experience in your home can actually help you manage cost and usage of natural resources. And so, but it is a learning curve, right? We are all learning and going from very traditional unenabled product to really what can enablement provide us. We're going to make mistakes along the way. Privacy is one of those things where we learned we don't want cameras where we don't want cameras.
Right.
We don't want our voice recorded where we don't want to be recorded. So we learn that, and we put in, barriers to stop that thing from happening. So we're all learning, and I think sustainability is, people are going to wake up to this fact that with a little technology, they can actually drive a significant reduction in their own footprint.
And I presume that Kohler is making that effort to educate people about the importance of sustainability when thinking about smart homes.
Well, that's a great point. We have more sustainable attributes to our products than we actually communicate. And what we're realizing, 59% of all of our sales globally are sustainable products, and of those, smart is a portion of those. But all the smart products actually have a water consumption feature. We just have to do a better job communicating that feature.
Right.
What we tend to lead with is kind of the fun, the ease, the excitement of a digitally enabled product rather than the sustainability attribute. And I think we just need to combine both of those stories.
Because I think the issue of sustainability, especially in this day and age, and also the issue of reducing costs is key. So at the moment, I can imagine a number of people presume that this is a luxury product, it's not for me. But if they are made aware that actually, yes, there is the luxury element, but actually, costs can come down, then perhaps they'd be more attracted to it. Andre, I also wanted to ask you, what does one need? What sort of a home does one need to live in order to include smart devices in their home? I mean, does it have to be a house? Can it be an apartment? Like, what might somebody need
It can
who's
be a room.
considering? A room, okay.
Yeah, you can start with a 12 square meter studio and
Really?
introduce certain elements there already.
Okay. All right, before
And it doesn't cost much. I mean, like, the more hardcore you go towards sustainability, the more expensive it gets, but
Right.
like,
it doesn't have
moving
to.
ahead, 80% of the journey takes something like 20% of the energy.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
most every smart toilet is a low water consumption toilet by nature because it's electrically enabled. So you can do a lot with a flush with a low water volume because you've enabled that product. So that's the excitement of figuring out technology enablement.
Right. Speaking of excitement, before I go to some questions from the audience, I'd like to just ask each of you, what is it that excites you the most? I'll begin with you, Moshiri, about smart technology. What product, for example, and why?
I started using a cell phone when I was already working. My son uses a smartphone very intuitively. He'll know where, immediately he knew how to scroll through, and this is what is coming out. So we did some studio apartments about 5 years ago, and the young guys who were moving in, we had given them parkings and everything. They don't use the parkings. And when we went and interrogated that further, we found that they were investing more in experiences. So they don't want to buy the cars. Yes, the car will come one day,
Right.
but it is more about experience. He's able to use an Uber. He's able, so within this home, he's then able to do quite a number of things. He can order for his meals. He can order for his laundry to be picked up, and concentrate on the core things that he needs to do. So there's a lot which is coming in, which is making livability very, very exciting, and I think it's a way of the future.
Okay, I'll come to you both in just a moment, but we've already got to take another quick break for the news highlights. Stay with us, we'll be back after this.
Are you curious about that dazzling look? How do you define beauty? And how to dress elegant, glitz, and glamorous. The Glam Show is here to answer all those questions and show you what's popping and what's the latest in the beauty and lifestyle world, because you need it. Look your best and fall in love with Into the Glam, only on NTV.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Molfix Pants Comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Molfix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi leak in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Molfix. Renewed Molfix, ultimate quality.
Molfix is renewed. Improved Molfix quality, now in blue package.
This is NTV.
Tonight, I am stating the quorum under protest.
If there is an application for recusal or whatever it is, I think you really need to put it on record so that we deal with it.
Hushed hastes, filibustering, and long speeches. Push and pull in the bar elbows application to expedite Kindiki's swearing in. The substantive case is still yet to start. Also tonight,
the petitions as consolidated fail, and we have dismissed them.
Piling pressure on thinning payslips. Court okays housing levy as it rules in favor of President William Ruto's plan. Plus,
kuna watoto walikuwa wameachwa na mamake akaenda katika shughuli za siku za kujitafutia kibarua. Kuna ufumi, ile moto ilitokea kwa ajili ya kado.
A gas cylinder explosion, a child lost, a community in shock and trauma. We tell you of the illegality in Nairobi's Mukuru Kwanjenga slum that has been attributed to this tragedy. And
wale watu ambao wanataka kulima wakubali tu kusoma, tuwafunze, tunawafunza free, waanze kuona benefits za kupanda mbegu nzuri.
Leveraging on communication technology to pull farmers. The Heartbeat on NTV tonight.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Molfix Pants Comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Molfix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi leak in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Molfix. Renewed Molfix, ultimate quality.
Molfix is renewed. Improved Molfix quality, now in blue package.
Every journey has its milestones, and each step you take reflects your confidence, resilience, and unwavering focus. And amidst the chaos, you've carved out your own path, defying the odds and inspiring those around you. You've overcome challenges and made your mark. Your story is a testament to innovation, leadership, and impact. It deserves recognition. Nominate yourself or someone who embodies greatness for the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Men 2024 title today. Visit top40.bdafrica.com to submit your nomination.
Thanks very much for staying with us on the Nation Leadership Forum, where we are discussing smart homes. Laura, back to you. What excites you the most? I'm sure it has something to do with showers, maybe toilets as well. But tell us why as well.
Well, I love the fact that we're able to deliver a better performance and increase your experience as a user, but also help you save water. Through and have sustainability be a part of your life without you even knowing that it's happening. And I think that's the excitement of innovation. It's the efficiency a product can achieve, but yet delivering maximum performance. So one of my favorite products is the Anthem shower that does just that. It delivers amazing experience, but it helps you save water and set the temperature exactly to your preference. And when you're finished with it, you know exactly how much water you used, and you can feel good about your footprint.
Right, okay. And Andre, what about you and your 20 years experience? You must have seen a lot. What's your preferred product and why?
Yeah, I'm excited how affordable it's become, and that indeed each smart home technology nowadays at least has a certain sustainability component. And I'm excited how our living environment becomes more functional and cozy. At the same, we spend less water, less electricity.
Right. Are you able to give a figure with regard to a product and how affordable it is? I know we had an example earlier, but from your perspective?
Smart light switches back then, you could buy a second-hand car at the same price as one smart light switch, because there was all like patented systems.
Right.
And if you go with this system, you need to buy all the accessories from the same supplier. Nowadays, it's all open-ended, and smart light switch is maybe 50% more expensive than not smart.
And I think overall you're going to find the good, better, best philosophy.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to find some functionality in the good price point, then best will have better, more functionality. So I think good, better, best is a good theory to hang on to when you're looking at that whole category of smart products.
Okay. All right, let's come to some questions now. This is a very interesting one from Joshua. Mushiri, what do you think is the biggest hurdle in making smart homes more accessible to the average home buyer in Kenya? The average home buyer.
Interesting one. First of all, from the top of my head, I think cost is always going to be the major hindrance.
Yeah.
But again, it is cost on capex. Once you're inside the house, then it makes it very, very affordable. Then the other thing is just the level at which then you're able to learn about what is it called, the learning curve. The learning curve for a lot of these things is generally going, but for the younger guys, it's really going to be, they're able to adopt very quickly, and then also catch on what is going on.
Okay. And just to add on to that, how can people learn more about smart homes and devices?
Oh, that's an easy one. The internet, of course, is your, yeah. But we have a lot of centers, experiential centers here. I know of a few where you actually then take you through how you integrate all your systems. One is actually near her showroom in Karen. And there are lots of these systems. They are very bespoke for now, but you're then able to get a lot of these things. Xiaomi is doing this, Huawei, Samsung, like she said. iHome, Apple is a latecomer into this. But anyone who is producing technology then has seen the need to go into this. And there are lots of systems which integrate right across the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Andre, question for you from Sharon. As smart technologies evolve, how do you foresee the role of architecture adapting to these changes, especially with trends like 3D printed homes and AI integration?
Nowadays, AI is already being extensively used in architecture and planning. And the further we go, the more it will be used. It just always need to be mindful that it has to remain creative, human-led process, because ultimately it's the human being who is the mastermind who takes responsibility if anything goes wrong.
Right. Okay. Okay, and Laura, question for you from James Cummings. As sustainability becomes a key focus in smart homes, what role does Kohler play in promoting eco-friendly home designs and products?
So it's very important to us to ensure that people, the architects and the developers, know all the products that we have and really our values around sustainability. So you're going to continue to hear more about that, and we're enabling our website and our relationships with all of our partners around the world to really know what's coming, whether that's recycled content, right? So I think you're going to see more and more recycled content and products for the home. I think you're going to see almost every water product have a conservation element to it. And I think it's our job as the designer, the manufacturer, is to continue to innovate, but also educate. And we have to do that both to the end user, and so they know what to ask for, but we also have to do it to our business partners so that they know what we have to offer to enhance the experience of their designs.
Right, okay. I just want to come back to another point that you made. Moshiri, a lot of the time you have been referring to the younger generation. Let's not leave out the older generation. Is this for them? And if so, how accessible is it for them? How user-friendly is this smart technology?
Yes, very user-friendly. It's just a learning curve, which is sometimes a problem. But I always tell people about the experience of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She, at first, had refused to use M-Pesa.
Right.
And whenever she'd get it, she'd go to somebody until she got the hang of it. And nowadays, she's on TikTok. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the learning curve is what is the problem with a lot of these things. But they've become very intuitive. And this is where AI has come in. So it will be able to learn about you. And a lot of these things then are promoted because Laura has not mentioned it, but her products will give you a 30% savings on your water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right across the board, from how you shower, the air to water ratio that you, it still gives you the same experience, but with use much less water. Now that goes down to your bottom line. If your water bill is 5,000 shillings. You save 1,500 every month.
Right.
So at the end of the day, that then is incentive enough for the older folk then to want to engage with smart homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I make one example of a great product that it's a smart toilet, and the lid will open as a person approaches.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're aging and disabled in some way, that toilet, it's a touchless experience for you. And it also has a bidet function, which is a cleansing, hygienic function. So as someone is very ill or someone needs more assistance, those kinds of products that actually enable you and enable your wellness, but also sense what you need, will be incredibly valuable.
Okay. Andre, it all sounds, incredible, but from your experience, what are perhaps some of the faults? Some of the challenges or some of the hindrances or some of the things that you think really need improving?
I think sometimes developers of new products, designers come up with functions that do not really solve any problem. Mm-hmm. Eventually, these functions do die out, but it takes time. So we need to be very kind of problem-focused and customer-oriented.
We have to be very much listening to the feedback from the markets to make sure that our design meets the need of what people are going to need in the future. So it's tricky because sometimes we might design a feature that isn't as readily needed, but we learn from that and design something else. So it's a very symbiotic relationship.
Right, okay. And what sort of feedback are you getting? I mean, you talked about the demand earlier, but what kind of feedback are you getting from the users?
It is largely positive. The minute then you're solving real problems, problems of security, problems of convenience, problems of how you integrate a lot of these things, then somebody is able to quickly see the benefits of this. A few years ago, for example, like I said, when we didn't have smartphones, you'd not have imagined that a lot of things will be, that you can actually navigate your way through a place where you've never been by somebody sending you a pin. But this is there now. So a lot of these things are then going to become very intuitive, sorts out a lot of the issues that we're trying to resolve.
And are we seeing more of the demand in Nairobi, you know, capital centric, or are we seeing demand from other towns?
It's everywhere. Today, I mean, if I can get a Java in Eldoret, I can get, so all these things, the technology is being adopted right across the board. Why? Because it is bringing convenience. Yeah.
Ultimately, that is what it is about, it seems. And hopefully more and more people will realize that it also is about sustainability and lowering the cost of living. So I'll just go around and get your final remarks, you know, on smart technologies. Why do you think, you know, it is a great idea, and what are your views about the future of it, Andre?
It is a great idea because in the end of the day, it improves our experience and increases our productivity. We spend less time on supportive functions than we can focus on our core functions. The future is the systems will become more integrated and more AI powered. And yeah, your smart home will learn from what you do outside of your home.
Right.
Your car will hint your bedroom, and your office will talk to your TV.
Wow. All right, it almost sounds quite scary, but I suppose that perhaps is the future. Laura?
I think the future is integrating efficiency, cost effectiveness, sustainability, and wellness. And I think when we can, as designers and developers, bring that together to help people live more gracious, healthy, and sustainable lives, we've really made an impact on people.
Okay, and yourself?
Yeah, what is it who is Muchiri? And they'll be able then to tailor themselves around your experience. And this is what is exciting for me in the future, that everything will integrate. I no longer have to do very laborious things. We already have robots which clean the house. I no longer, there'll be a machine where I throw in the dishes and they're cleaned, and everything works. So I don't have to spend the time doing chores which have already been done by technology.
Right.
This is what is exciting for me.
Okay, this is perhaps the future. All right, thank you so much. Does anybody have anything else to add? No. All right. Well, thank you all so much for your great insights into this truly interesting conversation. You've been watching the Nation Leadership Forum, and we have been covering the topic of innovative technologies shaping the future of smart homes. I do say a big thank you to Laura Muchiri and also Andre for joining us tonight on the Nation Leadership Forum, brought to you by Collar, and thank you for sharing your incredible insights. The future of smart homes lies in the integration, as has been said, of design, technology and sustainability, offering us homes that are more attuned to our needs, more efficient and ultimately, probably the most important, more sustainable. Thanks to all of you for watching and for your questions and comments on this journey into the future of smart living. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay tuned. The 9 o'clock news is coming up next with James Smart.